Abey Mokgwatsane, welcome to the Redzone. It's very nice to talk to you. Let me start with this. In tough economic times, what do big brands want from big agencies like yours?
Deep specialization and an integrated way of offering those deep specializations. That's what they're looking for. They want to get rid of the complexity that exists in the marketing practice. They want us to simplify that for them, but they want best of breed.
Let me pick out one key word in that answer, and that's the word integrated.
Yeah.
No one seems to be getting that right, though.
It's a very difficult thing because what you're doing is you're integrating a number of different deep specializations, trying to get the guys who are experts in digital and social media to engage with the guys that understand retail marketing is a very difficult thing to do. But that's our task, and I think that is going to be the competitive advantage of the agencies that actually make it into the future.
Break it down for me. Why is everyone obsessed with this word integrated? Why is it important to brand building?
If you think about the way that consumers are engaging these days, the amount of media that we have access to has grown exponentially. So where 50 years ago you knew that you could message through TV and radio, now you're messaging through TV, radio, experiential, online. There's so many more mediums. But the ability to be able to integrate those services and present one face of the brand to a consumer at a time is what makes or breaks an effective brand campaign.
And very difficult to find that golden thread, isn't it?
Well, I think that brand marketing has got to a point where they understand that they're content providers. So we have a better ability of being able to create great content around a brand. So I think the golden thread is done. The difficulty is then applying that golden thread throughout these different mediums, throughout these different specializations, throughout these different teams in an integrated way.
You use this word specialization all the time, which also suggests to me that you're no longer in the advertising business, you've become business consultants.
Yeah.
But the marketing community tells me time and time again that they don't take you seriously enough. How are you overcoming that perception gap?
The only way to overcome that gap is to make sure that you have services and specializations that our clients don't have. So they understand social media, but realistically, they're not in the social media game. They're into making the best products and sorting out distribution and pricing. So we have to be able to offer them a compelling offering around the specializations that we have, around retail and shopper marketing, around digital and social media, around mobile applications. All of that is what's going to make the difference and give us the credibility that we need.
And how difficult has it become for you to find those skills in order to deliver on that promise?
Fortunately for us, Ogilvy is a globally networked agency. We are the largest communication agency in the country, so we have resources to be able to go and acquire those best skills. So we've gone out into the market and actually bought those skills in and are engaging in programs where we are, for example, digitizing our entire agency so that we're all digitally affluent. So I think it's easier for us, but for less resourced competitors is going to be very difficult because specialized skills are expensive, and getting that IP into your industry or into your agency, if you don't have those resources, is a really difficult thing to do.
Once you've got the resources, you also expound this philosophy called the twin peaks of excellence. Rolls nicely off the tongue, doesn't it?
It does.
What does it mean?
And I think we're scaling the twin peaks. Twin peaks is really about making sure that you are excelling in the creative field, so making sure that you're developing breakthrough creative work. But it's also about making sure that you deliver effective work. And I think since the beginning of Ogilvy itself, we've always had this dynamic tension between those two things. We think that those two things are inextricably linked. You can't do without any of them. One without the other is absolutely useless. So we're constantly pushing to make sure that we're doing great work, but we're making sure that work is effective. I think Bill Bernbach once said, dullness won't sell your product, but neither will irrelevant brilliance. We're making sure that we can do it with relevant brilliance.
Okay, you throw one quote at me, I'll throw another one back at you.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Uncle Ken Modise, shall we?
Sure.
Strategy is not about what you do, it's about what you don't do.
Absolutely.
Who was he and what does he mean?
Ken is my uncle. He's actually the guy that started radioactive sales at SABC ages ago, and he's a management consultant. Strategy is about trade-offs. it's very difficult to actually make trade-offs. We always want to do everything. We always want to be everything to everyone. You have to sacrifice in order to over-invest on the things that you need in order to make a real difference in the market. And that's what makes strategy difficult. You know, we are always faced with so many different options to make with limited resources. And the most difficult thing is actually deciding not to do something.
How do you do that? How do you know what to cut or what to jettison?
I think you have to understand in your field what it is going to be the game changer. What it is you have to over-invest in order to get it right. And often it defies logic. Often it doesn't make sense. So the investment in digital and mobile and social right now doesn't seem to be something that's logical because the market is so small, the penetration is tiny. But yet the future of our ability to apply what we do through those mediums is massive. But it's quite difficult to make those monetary trade-offs right now in the face of other easier, low-hanging fruit.
Thank you for joining us.
Pleasure.